So today we're going to be reacting to the first contestant on this new Pop the Balloon episode. And there's a specific reason that we are reacting to this. But before we get into it, I need you to put a like on the video. Let's get into it.
Hello, welcome in. I'll have you hold that. What's your name?
My name is Alistair.
Alistair, how old are you?
I'm 36 years old.
36, okay. And what do you do?
I'm a deputy sheriff.
All right, okay. And what are some things you like to do for fun?
I like to travel. I like to go on trips.
And Tiffany, what do you do?
I am an exotic dancer, but I use my money from exotic dancing to fund my business ventures.
Okay, all right. And now, why did you end up popping your balloon?
Well, first of all, he said that he don't, like smokers. I'm a big smoker, and I don't think, the police and an exotic dancer would mix. But other than that, I like the way you're built.
We'll stop there. Of course, we all know that a police officer and a stripper don't mix, but what does mix with a smoking stripper? Maybe a criminal, maybe a lowlife, something along those lines, the complete opposite of a cop. So that is understandable. The other thing that is understandable is nobody really wants to cuff a stripper anyway. You definitely wouldn't expect an honest, upstanding individual to be with a stripper. So we not even mad at that. Let's continue.
We can have your name and age.
My name is Danielle, and I'm 35.
Danielle, what do you do?
I work in human resources.
Okay. And why did you end up popping your balloon?
Honestly, it's because he's the police.
Oh, okay. So apart from him being a police officer, he is someone that is your type?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily go off of like looks per se. So if we had a conversation, maybe.
Okay,
But
all right.
he the police. So.
Okay, Alistair, I know you said everyone's beautiful, but is she someone that's your type? If you saw her out, you'd approach her?
Yes, I will approach her.
Okay, and how we see this police thing is taking you out. Like, is that ever a problem when it comes to dating?
I know law enforcement is a very, skeptical career to be in.
Yeah.
I respect everyone. I joined this career because this was a calling for me.
Yeah.
And I like what I do.
Okay, good.
I'm a protector. So if you need someone to protect you, I'm someone to protect you.
Period. All right, let's go back.
Now, with that being said, we're getting to the nitty gritty because the first one was a stripper, so that's understandable. Then now we get to somebody who is not only a law-abiding citizen, but you are actually the police at the job. You're HR. You're the people. You're part of the team that everybody dreads at the job. You're a part of the team that gets people fired. You're a part of being the judge and the executioner for a lot of workplace situations. So if anybody should be able to relate to somebody who upholds justice, you would think it'd be somebody from HR, but no. She don't like him because he's a cop. We're going to continue, but that's kind of ridiculous for a professional woman to be so strongly against dating a cop.
Caprice, 32.
Okay, and Caprice, what do you do?
I am a certified Christian life coach.
Okay, and now why did you end up popping your balloon?
Just initially, just wasn't enough bass in your voice. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay.
Alistair, I feel like I know what you're about to say, but you approach her if you see her out?
I'm respectable to everyone. I give everyone a chance to get to know you, sit down, have a conversation, let you know my goals in life, and ask you your goals in life, and if we do match.
Now, you hear his canned response. I just want you to know. Memorize that response or just remember it because he's going to use it again. He's going to use it with every single woman. And we'll get to that later.
Your name and age.
Kiana, 32.
And Kiana, what do you do?
Well, I'm in the health field, CNA, also in real estate, and I'm the supervisor at a shoe store. So, yeah.
Very nice. You're very busy. And now why did you end up popping your balloon?
I just feel like sticking to the code. I didn't have no problem with the law enforcement and whatnot, but I don't know, just feel like I should be sticking to a code,
Okay. What do you mean by sticking to the code?
That's honestly like, I just felt like everybody kind of reminded me and whatnot. So, yeah. that's just life. So.
Sorry, I'm a little confused. Reminded you of what?
No, because I'm just mentioning about him being in law enforcement, and so I just felt, although I don't see it as a problem, there's always been a history behind it. So I just would just follow that.
I see.
I don't follow too many, but I'll follow that. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Sorry.
Now listen, I'm gonna talk to black people real quick, man. I just gotta keep it all the way real. The culture that we have in America is trash. There are some good things about it, like collard greens and all that. But seriously, like there is, and I understand that there is a history when it comes to law enforcement and black people. I absolutely understand that. But I could go really deep on this. I don't want to do that to y'all on this channel. Being that we live in some of the most crime crazy environments and things of that nature, a lot of times, like you're probably gonna need the police at some point. You're probably gonna need it, even if you don't. The police will be needed in the community at some point. I'm really trying to keep forgetting Martin Luther King, dreamy and all that stuff, but I'll just say this, man. When it comes down to it, I've never called the police in my life, but if somebody breaks in my house, if somebody, tries to shoot at me or whatever, anything like that, anything crazy, I want to be able to rely on the police to whatever degree I have to. I expect them to keep my environment safe. And guess what? A lot of these thugs, that's the only people that they fear. And I'm talking about actual killers, like they have no regard for black life. Some of these people in the streets, none. I mean, they will do, bruh, like real talk. They will do drive-bys with switches and they don't care who they kick, kids, moms, whatever. But y'all be so against the police. And I don't want to go that deep. But like, who do you expect to get these guys out of our community so that we can, like, some of these dudes is menaces? So with that being said, we'll just leave that there. Police are necessary to some extent, and the culture is just, this is where my issue with the culture comes, not necessarily so much as far as police in this dating situation, but she's a nurse. She's something in the medical field, right? She didn't say nurse, but she's something in the medical field. When we look at nurses, especially in black culture, who do they go hand in hand with so well? Drug dealers and street dudes. Oh my goodness, man. So many nurses, so many STNAs, so many caretakers and all of that stuff. Chicks who wear scrubs, dental assistants, all that stuff. Who mess with street dudes. It's like, this is not a local, stereotype. This is a nationwide stereotype that people talk about on Twitter. They talk about it everywhere. Everybody knows this stuff. So I'm not making it up. I'm not pulling it out my butt or anything like that. It is so crazy that it's like, you got to stick to the code. You don't have a mind of your own. That's what you just and that's to be expected of women. If we're being honest, they're sheep-minded. That's their herd mentality, all that stuff. But you just let us know that you don't have a mind of your own. It didn't bother you until you got reminded, wait a minute, this is being recorded and I should be in alignment with what black culture believes, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, you got a nice gentleman right here. Shout out to the women who didn't like him for other reasons, but the fact that he's a cop, that's why you don't like him. That's insane to me. I don't, like I said, I don't want to get too deep, because trust me, I could go really, 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 really deep with this racial stuff. I could go really deep, but we not here for that on this channel. So with that, I'm just going to end this part here till we get to his response. This is why we have a lot of people turn to thugging in the streets, literally. I mentioned this story before. There was a basketball player in New York who became a real big killer as far as the young dudes out there. And they wondered why he became this way. And what he said was, listen, I was a ball player. I was real nice. And the girl that I liked rejected me and then went for a street dude. And she said that, like, I only mess with street dudes. Like, I don't mess with no ball players, no nerds, no jocks, none of that. Just street dudes. And that led him to saying, you know what? I need to be that to not only win this girl, but to get the girls I want. The women within our culture help perpetuate the bullshit. They compel men to do this shit. And that's what it is. And then you have somebody like this. If somebody that is impressionable, like a 13-year-old, were to see this video and he thought like these chicks are attractive or something like that, and they have that mentality, that may, leave an imprint on him, just like it did in the kid that I just told the story about in New York, the ball player, to where he is like, first off, that is something I absolutely don't want to be. Number two, I should absolutely be against police and stuff like that. But number three, I could probably get accepted more and be more attractive if I get in the streets. That's the nasty part of this that nobody talks about. So with that, we're going to move on to his response.
Okay, cool. So, Alistair, is she someone that you would approach if you saw her out?
Yeah, I'm very respectable for every individual that I meet. I'm very respectable.
Got it.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, this is the deal. When it comes to his response, you see she smacked her knee. She started laughing. The other chicks in the back, they chuckling and covering their mouth and stuff like that. It's because he said the same response for every single individual woman. Every single one rejected him. And he came with that, I am respectable to every individual. We have a conversation. He said he wrote that in Microsoft Word, and he memorized it. He said it into a boom box or something, like some recorder, and just listened to it in his headphones for a week so that when he came there, he had it memorized. I'm joking, by the way. So people don't think that really happened. But the point of me saying that is, why do you think he did that? Why do you think he did that? Before, like in the first few episodes, dudes were getting chopped up real bad because the woman had some really horrible women on there, right? They were getting chopped up real bad. And only one dude or two dudes, maybe three in the episodes, they gave it back to the chicks the way they were supposed to give it back, And they gave it back kind of tastefully and stuff like that. But then you have this buff dude. Now, we won't get into all of this because it's pretty unanimous throughout YouTube. The dude is a scammer and stuff like that, even though he did a stream providing receipts when Queen of Accountability said she couldn't find his job, but she looked in the wrong state he had the job, all that stuff. But even then, still, there's other receipts like him saying, oh, man, it's my birthday. Y'all should let me get the money out of my GoFundMe so I can have a little fun. All this stuff, da-da-da-da. So whatever. He's got what he's got going on. But this is the thing. We don't know for sure if he got fired because there's no proof of him getting fired. But this is the thing. The word was out there and he went viral for being on Pop the Balloon, for popping it back at these chicks saying, you not qualified, roasting a chick, hairy arms, and some other stuff. Like just being really funny, abrasive, whatever word you want to use. He was shooting the shit back at him in a polite way. Women did not like that. They did not like that. He said that over 500 people called the business that he works for, that he proved exists. Let me say it another time, because they said that the business don't exist. He proved it existed. But he doesn't have proof that he got fired from, that place. He doesn't. So with that being said, it's just a narrative that he got fired because of how he conducted himself on Pop the Balloon. The other thing about this is, when it comes to the women, they really, really, really hate this guy. They hate the guy that you see on the screen right now. Before we even found out he was a scammer or anything like that, they really hated this guy, all in the comments of the video, all around the internet, all on Instagram, TikTok. Everywhere you look, they hate this guy. They hate this guy. You hear this guy talk in his interviews, he'd be like, I'm scared for my life, because he was a street dude, stuff like that, whatever. We're not getting that deep. But the whole point of me bringing him up is this guy is a sheriff. He's a sheriff deputy, man. He could get cooked way easier than a plumber. And if he conducts himself, no, it's not going to take a bunch of if he conducts himself in a negative way, in a questionable way on that show, is going to reflect poorly on the sheriff's office or whatever that he works for, the sheriff department, whatever. And it's also going to reflect badly on him and possibly get him fired. And it won't take 500 calls. It'll just take a few people at the office seeing the video and not liking it. That's all it will take. 4 men that go on this show. 4 men to do these internet. I don't understand. I don't know if Buddy got paid for the video. I think people don't get paid for this. But if you're a dude, you better get some type of bread to be getting humiliated. Like just critiqued, criticized, and all that stuff. Just embarrassed the way a lot of these dudes be getting embarrassed to where it's going to live forever. It's going to be on the internet forever. Your kids will be able to go and look up the Pop the Balloon episode where you had on the tight ass Henley sweater and everybody rejected you, and they could rejoice and laugh about it. It's crazy. But on top of that, the reason that you really got to get paid is because this could impact your livelihood if you make the wrong move. And these chicks get to be as rude as they want to you without no consequence, because nobody is firing a nurse because she won't date a police officer, and nobody is firing whatever that one chick in the green was who was scamming the football player and all that stuff. Like, nobody is going to fire her because she's being rude to a bunch of guys on a dating show. Like, women's rudeness is tolerated way more. It's just absolutely fine. So with that being said, those are my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. Please, if you haven't, be sure to subscribe. I will catch y'all.